It's a beautiful morning. I'd like to go outside, but it's just so wet. I took Annie for a walk instead of going outside. I wish I would go back outside and do my lives, but it's just soaking wet out there. And I apologize that I'm starting a couple minutes late. I typically start right at 7:30 a.m. Eastern time, but I think that's what happens when you wake up at 3 a.m. Let's see where Annie is. There's Annie. What's up, girl? Hold on. Hey, Vicky, how are you? Hey, thanks for joining. Sorry I'm late. I think I lost, hey Ryan, I think I lost track of time. Well, I know I lost track of time because I've been up since 3 in the morning. So when you're up at 3 in the morning instead of like 6 or 6:30, a lot of time goes by before 7:30. Okay, Annie, nope. All right, we're gonna do something different. No. Trying to stop Annie from going nutso around here. Let's see if this will help. Okay. Hey, BC, what's going on? We're going to do something different. Instead of a passage from the Bible, which is what I usually do every morning at 7:30, we're going to talk briefly about one way how to study the Bible. Okay? We're going to talk about how to study this Bible. And it's called the inductive method. Okay? And inductive is a method of reasoning where conclusions are drawn from specific observations or examples to reach a general conclusion. So that's opposite of deductive reasoning, where you start with certain principles. This is a method of reasoning where conclusions are drawn from specific observations and reading it. Hey, Frank. Sorry, I hopped on late. I've been up since 3 in the morning and I just totally lost track of time. I looked at my phone, it was like 7:31. I'm like, oh my goodness. Good thing I saw the time. Well, we're not doing a passage. We're talking about the inductive method, how to study the Bible using the inductive method. Okay, there are 3 steps to the inductive method: observation, interpretation, and application. Observation, interpretation, application. In that order. That's important. In that order, okay? What is observation? Well, observation is, hey, good morning, Olivia. Observation is, what does the context say? So you collect as many facts as you can about the context, what you're reading. And don't take anything for granted. Ask who, what, when, where, why, and how. All those questions. Look for keywords or phrases. Look for recurring words that might indicate a main idea. And what elements or arguments or illustrations does the author use? Okay? And you can do cross-references if you need to. All right? That's the observation portion of it. The interpretation is, what does the text mean? So after you've collected facts, ask yourself, what does the author mean by these words as they relate to the previous and the following words in the same book? Okay? So put it into that type of context. And then what was the author's intent? Who's the author? Right? When did they write this? Who are they writing it to? Why are they writing it to them? You know, look for clues preceding and following texts. And that's when it starts to make sense. Like you're reading the Bible in the context of when it was written, and you're understanding the mind and the heart of the author. Okay? Now, the third part of the inductive method on studying the Bible is application. So once once and only once you discover the meaning of the text in its own time and place, then you can ask, what does this mean to me? Or what does this mean for me? And then you have to distinguish between cultural facts, which may not be applicable anymore today, right? And timeless principles. So focus on the main idea and what are the primary issues of the heart. And ask questions like, what does this say about my relationship to God? And that's when the Bible starts to come alive, when you do this, when you use the inductive method. Oh, the fan is facing the wrong way, but that's because it's blowing on Annie. Hopefully it's not making too much noise. I had to get it. It was getting hot in here. Annie was doing some low-grade panting. So why would you do this inductive method? Why would you use this inductive method of how to read the Bible? Observation, interpretation, and then application. Well, it deepens our understanding of the Bible beyond just surface level reading, obviously. It empowers personal discovery, understanding of the Bible versus just reading commentary or what other people have to say about it. And then that promotes personal spiritual growth. And then you start to develop a love for the Bible and what God is actually, you start to recognize that God's actually trying to teach us many things about ourselves and about life and how life would be better if we obey and listen to what he has to tell us in the Bible. So how would you do this? How would you go about doing this? Well, first of all, just pick a passage in the Bible, read it, and then reread it, okay? Ask those questions. Then, like, what's the main point, right? Ask the questions, who, what, when, where, why, how. Ask questions, like, what's the main point? Seek answers in the text. You can use cross-reference or word study if you need to. Seek the answers in the text, and then apply it. Apply it to your life. So that was a little bit different today. I just wanted to go over the inductive method of reading the Bible, which a lot of Bible studies, if you've been to a Bible study, that's what you do at a Bible study, right? You read the passage. Usually you read it ahead of time, so then you're rereading it again at the Bible study. You're learning about the context, the author, the time period, what has gone on previously, or what's going to happen after this. You know, you kind of understand the context and the historical context, and whether there's personal or interrelational context between the author and the intended audience, right? So then you have a deep understanding of the passage, and then you go to application. So that's how most Bible studies are run, at least the ones that I attend. So if you're interested in learning more and diving deeper into the Bible, use the inductive method. Or if you're struggling doing it on your own, simply attend a Bible study. That's my suggestion. All right? Oh, that's how you do it at yours too, Ryan? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's how we do it. That's the best way. It's the best way. Now, every once in a while at the Bible study, once we get past the observation and interpretation, they do go into some commentaries, maybe how, especially if commentary is on opposite ends of the spectrum or they don't see it exactly the same, we look at that and start talking about that as well. But yeah, it's a pretty good way to do the Bible study. Nickel, what is 2 plus 2? Boy, that's easy. Oh, all right, guys. Well, that's all I have today. I appreciate you watching. I encourage you to try studying the Bible like this. It takes a little bit longer, obviously, but it forces you to think more deeply about it. And it's a great way to get more out of the Bible. All right, and this is definitely separate from your devotional reading time of the Bible, for sure. All right. Thanks, Ryan, Vicky, Olivia, Frank. Appreciate you guys joining. Have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. Peace.